So good morning everyone, I am Franta Clara Bariga. Together with my group mate, we will be discussing about the certain topics of the GEC103 contemporary world, and this includes globalization and regionalization, non-state regionalism, Asian regionalism, and a world of ideas. Okay, so first we will talk about globalization. So what is globalization? So it is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of worldviews, products, ideas, and other aspects such as technology. So when we say globalization, it is the interconnectedness and the integration of the different countries of the world in terms of trading, transportations, communications, and others. So the following are some examples of globalization: the trade, immigration, transportation, and knowledge. So in terms of trade, through globalizations, individuals or countries were able to import and export their goods and services from one country to another. So in terms of immigration, people were given the opportunity to move from one country to another in order to have better job opportunities or better life opportunities. So transportation. In terms of transportation, international system of transportation such as shipping and air travel. Through globalizations, people were given a chance to access the different types of transportations, especially when they will travel from one country to another. And next is knowledge. So through globalization, or due to globalization, knowledge has spread from country to country with word of recognize. People can access the different types or different informations around the world. So next is the opportunities and benefits of globalization. So access to new cultures. So through globalization, it is easier for us to access different cultures, foods, music, movies, and art from another countries. Next is the spread of technology. So due to the globalization, individuals have access to the rapid spread of technologies that makes communication and transportation more easier and faster. Next is the lower cost of production. So globalization allows companies or entrepreneurs to find ways to produce their products with lower production cost. So next is the access to new markets and new talents. So globalization allows businesses to access new markets, including customers and potential employees or workers that can help, or that is a great help in the success of their businesses. Okay, let's move on to regionalization. So what is regionalization? So it is the process of dividing an area into smaller segments called regions. Or in a wider sense, it is the increase in the cross-border flow of capital, goods, and people within a specific geographical area. So unlike globalization, which is the integration or the interconnectedness of the countries, this regionalization, or when we say regionalism, is the process of dividing an area into smaller parts. So the following are the reasons of forming regional associations. The first in line is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or the NATO. This was formed during the Cold War when several Western European countries and the United States agreed to protect Europe against the threat of the Soviet Union. So this is also called as North Atlantic Alliance, which is an intergovernmental military alliance or security alliance that is composed of 30 countries, 30 Western countries from North America and Europe. So its goal is to safeguard the Allies' freedom and security by political and military means. Next is the Warsaw Pact. It is a regional alliance created by the Soviet Union. So Soviet Union formed this alliance as a counterbalance to the NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It is a collective security alliance concluded between the United States, Canada, and Western European nations. So next is the OPEC, or the Organizations for Petroleum Exporting Countries. So it was established in 1960 by Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. So OPEC aims to regulate the production and sale of oil. So its success then convinced 9 other countries to join the organization. So next is the NAM, or the Non-Aligned Movement. So it is created by Egypt, China, India, Indonesia, and Yugoslavia in 1961 with 120 member countries. So it is to pursue world peace and international cooperation, human rights, national sovereignty, racial and national equality, and peaceful conflict resolution. So the common reason of forming a regional association is to protect the interdependence from the pressure of superpower politics. It is to protect the interdependence of each countries from the pressure of superpower politics. So we also have here the opportunities and benefits of regionalization. First is preservation of culture and traditions. So regionalization creates boundaries and distinctive cultures. It concerns the defense of cultural distinction. Next is provincial improvements. Regionalization is used as a strategy to attain national development goals by focusing on the improvement of each region or province. Third one is improve efficiency and effectiveness. Regionalism encourages local governments to pool resources, talents, and efforts. Collaborating in this way creates more effective planning that all governments, both big and small, can participate. It allows local governments to deliver services and address needs more effectively at their communities. So what is the difference between globalization and regionalization? So these are the difference between globalization and regionalization in terms of nature, aid, technology, and market. So in terms of nature, globalization promotes the integration of economies across state borders all around the world, but regionalization is precisely the opposite because it is dividing an area into smaller segments. So just like what I have said earlier, that globalization is the integration or the unity among countries, while this regionalization is the division or dividing the parts of the world into smaller segments. So in terms of aid, globalized international community is also more willing to come to the aid of a country, but our regionalized system not get involved in the affairs of other areas. So due to globalization, a community can help others worldwide, but regionalized system might choose not to get involved in foreign affairs or foreign matters. Next is a market. So globalization allows many corporations to trade on international level so that it allows free market. But in regionalized system, monopolies are more likely to develop. So in terms of technology, globalization has driven great advances in technology, but advanced technology is rarely available in one country or region. Okay, so let's move on to the non-state regionalism. So what is non-state regionalism? So non-state regionalism are individuals or organizations that have power to influence economic, political, or social power and are able to influence at a national and sometimes international level while not belonging to or ally themselves to any particular country or state. So these non-state regionalism are organizations which are not directly connected to the government. It is not directly connected because even though they are not part of the government, they still seek permission to the government in order to operate, in order to impose or implement their platforms. Okay, these are the examples of the non-state organizations or the non-state entities. First is the NGOs or the national and international non-governmental organizations. So NGOs seek to protect the rights of all members of society and to serve the public as a whole. So NGOs, these are the non-profit entities independent of governmental influence, although they may receive government fundings. So they are distinctly different from private associations such as political parties because they do not seek political power. Next is the minority groups. A minority is a national or ethnic, religious, or linguistic group fewer in number than the rest of the population whose members share a common identity. So, in fact, regionalism has been a key factor of contemporary international relations. However, regionalized concentrations of ethnic minorities are positively associated with ethnic discrimination. So next is paramilitary groups. A paramilitary is an organization whose structure, tactics, training, subcultures, and functions are similar to those of a professional military but is not part of a country's official or legitimate armed forces. So the last one is the terrorist. So these are individuals who use unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. So it creates a general climate of fear in a population and thereby to bring about a particular political objective. Or terrorist provokes a state of terror or fear, mostly with the intention to achieve political or religious aims. So many of the non-state regionalism groups promote human rights while others, on the contrary, condone crimes or even commit crimes affecting the lives and human rights of the individuals.
So again, I am the next reporter. By the way, I am GEC103. So now we focus on the topic, which is Asian regionalism. So by the way, what is Asian regionalism? So Asian regionalism focuses on the relationship between ideas and politics and examines rapid growth of Asia's economy, financial stability, and regional economic integration. Asia's development has had a massive and positive impact on people's lives. So most Asian economies have made remarkable progress in reducing poverty. So regional integration fosters inclusive development. Governments need to connect the poor to the thriving regional economy by eliminating labor market barriers, investing in workers' capabilities, and building infrastructure to connect disadvantaged regions with economic centers. So Asian regionalism is uh, not focused on the political planning, but it is more on economic growth, development. There are three factors leading to greater integration. So the three factors leading to greater integration of the Asian region are as follows. The first is trade. So trading. So in ancient times, regions of Asia had commercial relations among themselves, as well as with parts of Europe and Africa. The nomadic peoples, these are people traded over considerable distances using barter. So if we talk about barter, this is the medium of exchange. So ancient people were so honest. So they are so honest and truthful. So they can't lie. So as no businessman was aggrieved and defrauded. So the second factor is the similar culture. So the culture of Asia is diverse, but they do share many things. So this makes it an easier fit during times of negotiation. So we all know that Asia's Asian countries are very unique, but also there are similarities. The Asian countries are very conservative. Then last is the common goals. So the Asian region recognized the mutual benefits of a slow integration. So also they integrate because of they have a common goal. So there are mutual goals to make their countries to make their economic develop. And we all know that ASEAN, which is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, is a regional grouping founded to promote accelerated economic growth, facilitate social progress, and cultural development. So, pursue regional peace in the Southeast Asian region. So, through a multilateral cooperation. So, ASEAN was founded on August 8, 1968. So, its original members are Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. So currently, it has 10 members, which included Vietnam, Myanmar, Brunei, Darussalam, Laos, and Timor-Leste. So the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is the RCEP, has been formed, which included mutual agreement with the United States, China, and Japan, and South Korea. Some of us we know the APEC, which is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. So this cooperation is consisting of 21 member states. So uh, its secretariat was based in Singapore, so and operates as the core support mechanism. So for the APEC, so 30% of the world population is covered by APEC economies. So is this is institutes as well as governing rules and norms for facilitating transparent and effective business transactions. So this is the way they transact a business. So we are done in Asian regionalism. So let's move on to the next topic, which is a world of ideas. So we all know that globalization is the process of increasing economic interdependence among nations, and it is reflected in the growth of the cross-border trade in goods and services. So ideas like goods and services also flow across borders, and their globalization is well underway. So for example, from the US to China. So people are trading ideas and everyone is benefiting for it. So what is an idea? So an idea is a set of instruction to produce a new good, to increase quality or to reduce cost. So an idea is different from a good or a service because it is non-rival. So it can be used by different producers simultaneously. So therefore, an idea is not scarce in the same way that is good or service is scarce. So because ideas are intangible, measuring the impact of imported ideas on a country's economic well-being is challenging. So imported ideas, however, arrive in a physical form. So most importantly, as new capital goods whose impact on economic growth can be measured. So it is different from goods and services or service because it is non-rival in a sense that it can be used by different producers simultaneously. So therefore, an idea is not scarce in the same way that a good or service is scarce. So for example, a house under construction so provides good. To illustrate the concept of non-rivalry, so the land on which the house stands and the materials of which it is constructed and the tools, skills, and the labor hours of carpenters are all rival goods. So using them to build one house, they cannot be used to build another house at the same time. So by contrast, one idea can be used unlimited number of people simultaneously. So